we face critical issues, and those critical facts are never discussed in the law or regulation. So if the IPAs are there as a helpline where we can send our queries, and then we get a proper feedback that this should be done in the current situation, then we think that there will be a true capacity building of the IPs. Like one example I'll give you, that the when you constitute the committee of creditors, then you need to file it with the IBBI, and then you need to file it with the AA. Now, I have a query whether for each change in the creditors, committee of creditors or list of creditors, I'm updating my Excel sheet with the IBBI, but whether I need to again file multiple applications with NCLT, because initially we were only required to file a report. Now the reports are filed in the form of IA. So if on a daily basis there is a change in list of creditors, whether it is practically possible for filing different IAs with the NCLT on a regular basis?
I think broadly you have two questions. First one was related to multiplicity of submitting the same data at different.
That is the biggest challenge.
Yeah, and I think this has been raised many times. One of the things I am sure is cost disclosures, because you do disclose it on the IBBI portal and then on the IPA portal too. Not everything is common. The relationship, for example, is only on the IPA portal and not on IBBI. But cost is common to both. So whether some of these, whether the IPA can just pull the data from the IBBI website.
Yes.
Okay. And this has been discussed many times. At some point, we were told that they are working on a mechanism. My feeling is, I'm not sure, technical people can answer it, that the three IPAs are probably not on exactly compatible platforms. And that could be creating an issue on how to pull that, but that is a problem for them to solve. We have been telling them that, yes, inputting the same thing again and again makes no sense. We might as well do it, go back to the 100 years before when we were doing that. So technology is there. We have to use it to the right extent.
Ravi sir, I have one small suggestion. So I have one small suggestion. Like, how other IPAs, they are sending a monthly report to be complied with. I mean, with respect to the assignment of any IP, ongoing IP. So at least our institute, CS Institute could also come out with those kind of things. So that all the
report by the IP to the institute or by the institute to the IP?
Institute to the IP, about all compliances are pending.
Acha, you are talking of a sort of a reminder system whereby you are told by way of an automated email that this is pending from your side.
Yes, ICI, yeah, exactly. Yeah. ICI, they have introduced one. They are sending, at the month end, synopsis or questionnaire. In this process, you are missing out this. You have not complied with this. Please kindly.
Okay.
That will really help so far as capacity building is concerned.
Nitika, basically what they're suggesting, a reminder thing at the end of the month as to any compliances required to be done, but not done by anybody. Again, this has to be done by a system. It should be automated without human interference, that all those which are there as per the assignments that are recorded, whether some such thing can be there. Since apparently IIIPA is doing it, so maybe you can look at that and see what system they have used, if at all. Okay. We can't hear you. Aapka mic.
Yes, sir. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, at ICSI IP, what we do is we have prepared compliance calendars for all the insolvency professionals, wherein every single compliance, either procedural or the compliance part, is mentioned therein with the timelines, so that an IP can refer that compliance calendar time to time and he can make the compliances. Plus, on our website, there are only 3 compliances: relationship disclosure, cost disclosure, and half-yearly return. And with regard to CIP forms, the timelines and everything, even the flashes are there on IBBI portal. So sending each and every reminder to every IP with every assignment, I don't think so that is possible humanly. without the intervention of like the software. So
Nitika ji,
It
how
has to be
other
software driven. It can't be driven by
yes,
human.
it's
Yeah.
software driven. No, sir, no other IP is doing that as
Doing
far
that?
as I
Okay.
know that. Maybe they are just asking for the monthly reporting. Like
Okay.
they just need to have the status of assignment every month, wherein
Okay.
they'll ask what is the status. They're not sending the reminders. This is pending.
Okay.
but
So that,
but they are asking something like, that really keeps you on toes, like, to make the compliances.
but sir, that would increase your work only because there will be duplication. You'll send the monthly reporting to the IPs in that format. Then you'll submit the compliances separately on IBB and IPA portal. It will increase your work only. In
I think
CARP
what she is
7,
saying is perfectly right. There are basically two compliances, relationship and cost. Because half yearly return, the reminders come well in time. I don't think there is any problem with that. That's just twice a year. So relationship and cost, they see a relationship disclosure is as and when it happens. How will an IPA know when you have to do it? Again, cost disclosure is again event based. It is not timeline based. So these two, only the IP knows when to submit it. So I don't think that will work. You're talking of monthly report by triple IPA. I think they do it. ICSI doesn't ask for it. I think it's a good thing they don't ask. We have enough reports to do. Okay. So वो ज़्यादा हो जाएगा.
and sir, through the CARP 7, anyway, IPs are submitting the current status of their assignments every month. So increasing their compliance burden, that is not a good idea.
True, true. Yeah. And I think you do get it from your IBBI portal. You can access. Yeah.
We verify everything through IBBI portal only, and
Okay.
even there is one platform of time-based reporting on our system, but we are not asking the IPs to submit it mandatorily because
Okay.
anyway there will be duplication.
Right. Okay. Good. Anything else? Any other suggestion? So shall we move to the next one?
Sir, I have a question.
Haji.
Sir, in this capacity building for IPs only, we have seen in past few months that the sessions the IPs are attending, they are just attending for the sake of attendance or getting the CPRs. There is not actual capacity building for them because most of the times the mics are off, the video is off. So, what are the ways through which we can improve it, or like the participation can be improved? If any specific topic they want or any physical meetings they want, we are open for that also, but we really want to help the IPs.
And this is my biggest complaint because I usually look at blank screens when I take any session. See, as long as we have online and CPE, this is a combination which is not conducive to capacity building. Okay. So either drop CPRs for all online sessions so that those who attend are doing so because they want to. It's no longer for, and COVID time, it was fine. I think it's 2 years now. For all, my suggestion would be that all CPRs related sessions should go physical.
Yes.
And that's the only way of ensuring that people are actually attending. Online, it's nearly impossible.
Yes, sir. This will solve the problem.
Yes.
You are very correct.
And if at all it is to be done online, then it has to be 100% video on. Yes, video off means no attendance. And it doesn't matter, lightning, thunder, earthquake, fire, network, whatever be the excuse. Video off, no CPE. One has to be strict about it. Apne aap theek ho jayega. Yes, sir, correct. At heart, we are all still children, whatever be your chronological age. We do like bunking classes even now. So, I mean,
hello.
Anything else? Mr. Patwal, Haji, boliye.
I have some question with Nikita madam because we attended so many webinars, but they don't circulate any PPT. Last week we attended the seminar of this E&Y for forensic. Hello.
Yes, sir.
हाँ बोलिए
A forensic audit, but we don't get any PPT and any from madam. We written on that we want some PPT and what is the material, but they don't circulate. I didn't get anything till now.
Mr. Agarwal, please mute yourself. Shekhar Agarwal, please.
Yes, Mr. Murthy.
PPT from that.
Mr. Shekhar Agarwal.
No problem.
Nitika,
No
please
problem.
mute him.
At your convenience.
1 second.
GST, I'm not registered in GST because my values.
Yeah. Hi.
So, sir, actually, we did not receive that updated PPT from the concerned faculty. The faculty did not want that PPT to share because there were some issues in that PPT, which he did not want to circulate it. So, once we receive that updated one, I'll share.
I think, Mr. Patwal, one more thing, where the faculty shares the PPT, then only they can share with the participants. Sometimes the faculty may not want to do so for a variety of reasons, or maybe even forget to do so.
We discussed on that time. He will receive or remove something photo on that, and I will circulate. And I didn't get any any presentation till now, but not one webinar I'm talking about. But I didn't get any presentation till now. Or either we have to go in ICCI website and we can download. We can do, but it is should be available, no? Where it is available.
Sure, sir. I'll look into it. We'll do that.
In fact, Nitika's suggestion would be that instead of circulating individually to participants, if you do get a PPT from the faculty concerned for any session, just upload it on your website. People can go and download it there. No need to circulate and remember kisko bhejna, nahi bhejna. Make it available as a repository of knowledge in your website, and that should be good enough for anybody.
And sometimes Ravi sir, faculty himself suggest, okay, this PPT should be circulated to all the participants. So suppose Nikita, if you don't receive it, say within 7 days, 10 days, then you can just send them a reminder this was discussed. So kindly share that PPT for onward submission or taking it on the portal.
Sure, sir, I'll do that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So may I add something?
Yes, Mr. Sethi. Go ahead.
Sir, I've seen the practice of triple IPI of extending or sharing the ID or the link for the meetings, even for those who have not paid for those meetings, suggesting that if they want to attend the session, they can attend it. And in case they want to get credit for CPE hours, then in that case, they can also pay for it. So it may be that certain there may be few sessions which may be very informative and may be of great help to others. So if such a system can be incorporated by ICSI also.
Sir, actually, we upload the programs, like the recordings on YouTube also. But
Okay.
I have listed out your suggestion. We'll do that surely.
Correct. Thank you.
Most of the ICSI IIP sessions are available on YouTube.
So
Okay, I was not.
Most of yeah, they have a dedicated channel, and
Okay.
with I think with a gap of just about 10-15 days, they do upload almost all of them.
Correct. And one more suggestion as far as capacity building of IPs is concerned, I really agree with you, sir, that if it can be a virtual session also means physical sessions as well as this online session. What physical session will not only help us connect with each other, it will enhance our capabilities, because if we are physically present in a presentation, that leaves a different type of impact as far as in comparison to the impact which is left when we have online session. I'm not saying that we don't learn from those sessions. We learn, we gain. But then physically, if we are there, then there may be certain areas of expertise or people we come across, we may be able to gel with those people, but in online sessions, it's only the speaker or at sometimes the questioner, the person who is asking the question, who gets to get a little bit conversant with each other. But in physical sessions, I think we will come together, and as a team also, and as an IPA also will grow. That's what what I think. I may be wrong also, but then I think physical session will be more helpful once in every month or in a quarter, if such a session can be organized.
Yeah, Nitika, on this physical session, obviously it has to be at different cities because it can't be only Delhi. Virtual means we can reach the whole world, but physical, it has to be. You may have to re-engage with the parent institute because that's how you will be able to, get the infrastructure and the place, location, etc. so that physical sessions can restart. We used to have that before COVID. I think we have to go back to that time and, do that.
Sure, sir.
And in these physical sessions, we can have the subject experts in the sense that there may be, the topic may be about the home buyers. Then there may be the participants may be divided into, say, the advocates, the people who are doing CIRP or some infrastructure companies, and then the people who are handling the IPE. They coming up with the complete data or the step, the flow chart which needs to be followed, so that once we have a physical session, we get all the information about at least that industry.
Yes, very much. It will be more focused, more interactive, and more intense. Yeah.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Yes, we used to have this in Mumbai, at least I know, because I was part of that organizing at that time, pre-COVID. We had a lot of sessions in the ICSI office at Nariman Point, at Cuff Parade. Many of them. But later on, once COVID hit, then we couldn't do much after that. But let's, I think well taken. We will try to go back once we get the logistics.
So we are COVID batch. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, hello.
Haji, boliye.
Sir, actually, we have to be think about everybody, every professional member, because who are in interior. I am belong to Uttarakhand, and for going to Delhi or Mumbai, it is very difficult for me. But what we can do, we can switch on the video, and we can, if he is not able to on the video, or is not available, we can not allow CPR. But it is not okay that we both physical is not a sometimes the inclusion is not very high, but it will be less. So we need more participant, but it should be, there is some code of conduct should be there to attend the webinar. So we can, and anybody have the question, so generally he will ask question, otherwise it will be, everybody will put their views and it will be, not able to deliver by the speaker also, because everybody will ask so many questions. So it will be out of track, this webinar also.
Yes, I think well taken. A hybrid model, that's what you are basically suggesting, that physical come video. To the extent possible where such facilities are available, definitely, I think we should do that. Perfect. Well taken. Let's move to the next one, that is to improve the compliance and AFA mechanism. Now, compliances, as we discussed, as far as the IPA is concerned, there are just three: relationship, cost, and half-yearly return, which are mandatory compliances. There are time-based reporting, but as of now, they have not yet made it mandatory. It's optional to those who want to fill it up. There are compliances on IBBI, which are of course mandatory. All the CIRP forms 1 to 7, which are there. And then the AFA mechanism, also the way it is. Now, AFA mechanism, the application like CPRC is based on the IBBI website. But again, the IPA is the one which issues the AFA. Okay. So any issues anybody is facing, as far as these are concerned. Firstly, the compliance. Okay. Now the ICSI, IPA compliances are entirely event-based, except half-yearly return, which is time-based. The other two are not time-based in the sense each person, it will be different, the time of reporting. So any issue anybody is facing on this with respect to the format, with respect to how to fill it up, redundancy in fields, things like that?
Sir, I am getting the AFA during the month of November, December. So due to that, I am not able to be eligible for EOI for second quarter for last 2 years.
We will finish compliance first, then we will come to AFA. I think your problem is the AFA related. Yes, you are right. We will come to compliances. Anybody is facing any problem with the relationship disclosure or the cost disclosure or the half-yearly return while filling it up?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I want to say that there is yes or no column is there. There is no column for not applicable, just like I have no assignment. And whether I put yes or no, I cannot understand this here. There should be a column for and not applicable.
I think you have hit the nail on the head. It is. This is a genuine problem. That there should be an option of not applicable. And because certain things definitely are not applicable and one should be able to say so. And you can have another box saying why not applicable, and an explanation.
Okay.
That's one. Yes. I think what you have suggested is very useful. Any other?
Ravi, may I come in? Devarajan here.
Devarajan, bolo.
See, I don't know specific column, specific forms, but there are certain items where the drop-down menu doesn't actually cover what you want to say. So wherever possible, they should have a box where we can write what we want. In many places, the drop-down menu doesn't cover the entire options available. So now I can't recall specific instances, but then that is one thing that we need to look at.
Yeah, I agree with you. I filled up my half-yearly return just day before yesterday, and I did face this problem that, it could have been better if there had been a third option.
Yes. So those things possibly somebody has to sit and take it out and then,
these are relatively minor.
Yeah.
I think we will just note it down, sit across with the people who take care of the technical side and give that. Absolutely. I think should not be an issue.
Thank you, Ravi.
Sir, regarding AFA, I want to say that as in the case of ICSI members, same date should be continued. Different dates, if I apply for earlier, then it is date earlier, and if I apply later on, that the different date is there. Same date should be continued.
Yes, I think what you are trying to say is depending on the date on which you apply, you are allowed to apply in advance, I think 45 days before or something like that. But the date of approval is the date on which the new year starts. Whereas it should actually start from the date after the expiry of the current AFA. Otherwise, you lose time. And this is happening. You are very right. Almost every year, you are losing about 15 days to 20 days, depending on when you apply. And you can't take the risk of applying last day, because by that time you will not be eligible for another assignment which you might want to apply on the next day. So this is actually a very serious issue from day one. The renewal date, irrespective of the date of application, should be the date after the expiry of the previous one. And this should be automated. Again, this can't be done by human hand. It'll take too much time. But if it is, if your entire AFA certificate itself is generated through software, it will take care of it.
And sir, for getting this AFA, suppose I have given that consent letter and I have applied for AFA, and in the meantime, suppose some of my case gets admitted. How to take care of this kind of situation?
See, when you give a consent, you have to have a valid AFA. And when your case gets admitted, that time too, you have to have a valid AFA. So the only way to make sure of that is that there is no break between the two. That when you apply for renewal, even if you apply 15 days or 30 days before, it should get renewed from the date of the expiry of the previous AFA, so that there is no, I mean, it is not renewed in advance. That means you don't lose that time. And neither does it become late because of the time taken. Okay.
But suppose I have applied for the AFA and in the meantime, there was a gap, there was a break, which normally happens at that point in time. Suppose the case gets admitted and I have a.
You are talking of an example where there is no valid AFA for some time. You mean to say that way?
Yes.
That means you have applied late. Only this can happen only if you have applied after the expiry of the previous AFA or just when it is about to expire. Then it can happen.
So should we leave those assignments or should we inform to the?
No, that is what we are. First of all, I think applying in time should also be there. I think this is something we have to be responsible for.
Yes.
But from the institute side, I think they have to take care by ensuring that there is no gap, that renewals are based on the completed year and not just the date of application. Haji, Nitika.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, this is being discussed with IBBI for a long period of time, and they are doing, like, the platform is being worked upon, and they are doing something to resolve it. So maybe within few months that issue will be resolved. And sir, for the gap, I would like to say something. At ICSI IIP, what we do is, like, if the AFA is getting expired in the month of January, so in the month of December only we send an email to all those IPs whose, like, AFA is getting expired in the month of January, so that they'll get a email notification and they can apply within the time. So this is the thing which we are doing. Plus IBBI is also working upon that time issue, like the IPs who are unable to submit the information, which are unable to do that empanelment because of some time gap. So this is also being worked upon.
And sir, one more thing. In the past, I have been communicating with the IBBI, but I didn't get any response. So are you, like, in that case, can we, I mean, approach through you, like, should intimate you to, like, this is
communicating about what?
Communicating about, like, my dashboard were not working at that point in time. So.
Oh, the portal, IBBI portal, your access was a problem. Yeah. No, that only they can solve it. I don't think ICSI can do anything.
No, but they can come on a hand-holding kind of thing, like, because sometimes we are phoning them, it is not being attended to. At times, I'm not telling that it happens most of the time, but it has happened with me.
Sir, yes. I would like to say something here, sir. When an issue is being faced by any of the IPs, if they send an email to us, we personally communicate with the IBBI officials and get the issue resolved. Okay. So we generally try to help the IPs as far as we can.
Yeah, this is what we are expecting. Aman.
Yes, sir. We do.
Just to add on.
1 second. Hello. Please,
yes,
hold on. Who is it? Can't make out your name.
This is Dr. Prakash from ICSI IIT.
Would like to say something.
Just to add on, sir, on this AFA issues, we are having.
We are not able to hear you properly.
Sir, your voice.
Is it clear now?
Little better, yes.
Now it is clear?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, as Nitika has already mentioned, on this AFA issues and the date issues, number of meetings has been conducted with IBBI, and we are in the process of to develop some softwares also, and it is already developing. So the gap issues and those issues will be sought out very soon on that. And as one member has pointed out, they are communicating with IBBI many times, but they are not getting any response. For this, I want to say, if you are getting any difficulty like this, then you are always welcome to approach ICSI IIP. You just send your email, as Nitika pointed out, you just send your email with trail mail, and we will try to resolve your existing problem. IBBI may not directly communicate or may directly interfere.
I think we lost your voice again.
Ravi Prakash, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Sarangi. Thanks a lot. I think that helps a lot. So yes, hopefully we should get some solutions in a few months' time. And Mr. Kripalani.
Yeah. Mr. Ravi, actually, I am registered with the CMAI. So can I put my problem over here?
You can put your problem over here. No problem.
Okay.
Problems are problems as long as they are common to any IP. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, you know that IBBI suspended me, and at the time of STN, the IPA, my IPA, who was about to release my AFA form, they didn't release my AFA form. Now I have got the stay against the DC order, and IBBI has restored my AFA form on its website, but IPA is not releasing my AFA form.
But that is not this IPA, right?
No, that's right. That's right.
Then it is a issue in personam, not in rem. If it is in rem, you can take it here.
That's why I told.
No, it's not a common issue. It's a very specific issue.
No, but it can be even common issue. You know, many may be facing over here. I don't know.
So, when I say it's not a common issue in the sense, it's not common because it's that particular IPA and you, आपके बीच में है, in persona, right? It is between parties. It is not that there are examples with other IPAs like that. I don't think so. So,
but I think all the IPA, I think
just to add on, such issues are also not to be discussed in this common forum. Such issues is to be resolved one-to-one. And such issues, even though it pertains to our IP, so my request to my members is not to raise such issues in this common platform.
Yeah, please raise issues which are of common interest, which affect the people at large, based on systems, procedures.
That's why I mentioned initially itself.
That's okay. But as I said, any common issue would have been welcome. Anything else? Any other comment? Okay, we will move to the next one. Okay, now we are coming to something which is important because this is being attempted first time by this IPA. They have drafted sort of a thought paper on this, because this is a mandate of the code and regulations that the IPAs are required to evaluate their members on an annual basis. Okay, so how to go about it? ICSI IIP has come out with a model evaluation matrix. I will just share that with you. Okay, this is the suggested evaluation matrix in the thought paper prepared by the IPA. There are 10 parameters on which they propose to do the evaluation. The marking is binary in the sense either you get 0 or you get 1. I mean, either you have fulfilled that criteria or you have not. It's not a continuous scale. Okay. So what we will do is we'll just go through this one by one, and anybody has anything to say, please go ahead, and so that we can note down the suggestions. So the exercise, I believe, is supposed to be annual. Okay. The first point that is being suggested here, okay, is adherence to procedures prescribed under the code, rules, and regulations. Okay. The parameters say that more than 80% compliance, you'll get, you'll get the passing mark, which is 1. And if it is less than 80%, you don't get any marks. All the parameters are on this basis, that there is a threshold compliance level, and if that is crossed, then you get awarded a mark for that. But if it is not, you don't get. Please, feel free to comment at any point.
Is it self-evaluation, Mr. Ravi Prakash?
This is, it's not clear, but I think it is by the IPA, not self-evaluation.
So how will they?
But it might be based on a self-evaluation form, in the sense that you fill it up and the data that you present would form the basis for the marking to be done by the IPA. I think it's a combination of both. Nitika, can you please, elaborate?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Firstly, we'll ask the IPs to self-evaluate it, then we will evaluate on the basis of their self-evaluation. And this 80% is on the basis, for example, an IP has handled 10 assignments. So out of that 10 assignments, if in 8 assignments the compliances are okay, everything has been done okay, then 1 mark will be awarded. So it is based on that understanding.
Okay, so it is a combination. The first data, primary data is collected based on the self-evaluation form. It will be probably compared with the filings that the IPs do, both on the IBBI website as well as on the IPA website. And on verification, you will get either 0 or 1, depending on whether the threshold has been crossed. So yes, 8 assignments out of 10 is a good example. I hope everybody has 10 assignments. That would be, everybody will be happy. But
Sir,
what if you have only 1 or maybe 2? Then how do you do that? Because this is a bit subjective. 80% compliance. Now, a compliance can be very procedural in nature or very substantive in nature. And both cannot be equated, on the same platform. Let's say, as an example, a relationship disclosure is not made in time, but made late. And another is that it's not made at all. Now, both are non-compliance. So, not made at all. And it could be that the relationship which has not been disclosed was important to be disclosed. And that which was disclosed late was just a routine, no relationship.
So, no, but I would say that would come under point number 3 and not under point 1. So it all depends upon how that self-evaluation form has actually been designed, because, while your first point is very valid, Mr. Ravi Prakash Ganti, that if somebody has 2, then how do you determine 80% or 1? But distinction between adherence to procedures in point number 1 and in point number 3, adherence to compliances, that becomes very imperative, because both are 80% compliance.
In fact, item 3 is relatively easy because it's either you've done it or you've not done it. But item 1 will become very subjective, and it's something to be looked at. Okay, not that, the heavens are not going to fall if you don't, comply with it or you get. But there's something to be looked at when designing the self-evaluation form. Like Mr. Ravi said, that would be the very important part. Yes, Boli.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, can we know what is the purpose of this evaluation? How is it going to help us in our career, or is it for the compliance with IBBI, or for what?
As of now, the first requirement is it is mandated by the regulations that the IPA shall do it. IBBI wants it to be done. How IBBI will act on that, or whether it will form part of a database for something in future. Okay, there have been discussions on certain platforms, very informal level, I would say, but again organized either by the IPAs or IBBI, that depending on the type of assignment, the creditor or whoever is nominating an IP or recommending should be able to choose based on their past performance also. And one of the ways of doing it is to get access to such evaluation, evaluation data. How it will be done in future is not yet there. It's not been finalized. Very early days in terms of how that will be used. At this stage, one would say this is only about data collection because it is mandated to be done as per the regulations.
Sir, I want to say.
Sir, what happens if somebody has only one assignment, and if you're telling that this will be used probably as a reference for the future creators to select the IP? So in that case, if somebody does not have an evaluation matrix at all, because this would be his first assignment, then if that is the
that happens, that happens in all walks of life. Okay. I mean, this is the old conundrum that people want only experienced employees. And how do you get experience without getting your first job? This is as old as time itself. But that's part of life. I don't think we can get into that. I mean, nobody has an answer to that question till now. Which comes.
Sir, I want to say something. Sir.
Haji, Rajeshji, boli.
Yeah, score matrix should be not 0 to 1. It should be 1 to 10. I suggest, sir.
So you are saying expand it, don't make it binary.
Yeah.
So that, it won't be just that just because you are a little below the threshold, 0 ho jata hai.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It should be 1 to 10.
So every parameter should be marked out of 10 on a continuing scale. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, what I understand, the parameters are like if you have achieved something by 80%, you will be given a mark.
Yeah.
1 mark. This is a parameter, it's a fantastic parameter. Usually we say you have passed with distinction. If you got the 80% mark, you have passed with the distinction, you will be allotted 1. So what they are looking, a compliance officer, a perfect compliance officer who is always far beyond excellence. If you look at this list, see the objectivity, the code was to find a person who can facilitate the resolution. So the first parameter, to my understanding, because I have not seen the complete list, let me see the list before I make my comment, should be the person who have made how many resolutions. Or first of all, we are looking at a person who is perfect in the compliances. So the compliances can be done by a software. But resolution can only be done by a dynamic professional who has to put not only heart, soul, mind, but the effort to get a resolution. So the award should go to the person who have sought the resolution, who have got the resolution. We should find our IPs who have done maximum of the resolutions, and we should promote them. In spite of them looking at into that what compliance that can be done by software. And when something is driven by board kind of situation by the COC, probably any kind of the compliance is not in your hand except the point number 3, what you can do. First and 2, you are helpless sometimes, you cannot do. Yes, point number 3, you can do submission of the return in time, or you can file your disclosures. And again, disclosure, if somebody is not giving in time, you won't say to him that I am not going to appoint you. So Nitika, let us see first what are other parameters which it has been covered to evaluate the performance of somebody. If the matrix of evaluation is the base of compliance only, I'm very happy as a company secretary that we are going to the arena of the perfect compliances.
And
whether it is again going in tandem with the objectivity of the code, we have to see. So let us look into the list that 80% performance is fine. One number you are giving. If you are not achieving 80% at least, you are not good, you are getting 0. I'm fine. It is with everyone. It is not depending on the number of the project or not on the project. It can be 1 project, it can be 10 projects. Yes. All 10 projects you have to achieve 80% to get a 1, to my understanding.
Sir, more about
one second, one at a time, please.
Let us look at the list first before make any comment, because we have just seen point number 1, 2, and 3. Let us see whether we are also finding that thing in evaluation matrix which is required.
Yes, sir. Resolution.
Yes. 1 second.
Is there.
Yeah. 1 second, please. Hold on.
Just one point I want to make.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. This paper was circulated actually to all. So one would have expected that you would have seen and come. What I will do is I'll just first glance through all of them and then we will come back. Like Mr. Chaudhary said, let us look at all, just read it without discussing, then we will come one by one. Okay, just give 1 minute and then we will come to you. Yes. Okay. Yeah, just one. Yes, Mr. Rastagi, we will come to you. Just hold. Okay, point number 3 is adherence to compliances. 4 is number of complaints. Okay. And 5 is number of orders which are adverse against it. All these are all negative lists. 6 is disciplinary order by IPA or IBBI. 7 is CPRs, how much you have earned during the year. 8, which is what Mr. Chaudhary was emphasizing, is completion of CIRP process as IRP liquidator of more than 500 crores. Now, why that 500 crores? Okay, that 9 is completion of CIRP without replacement. That means if you don't get replaced, you are better than if you get replaced. There are a lot of questionables on this. This is draft. Take it as that. And why is it like this? Because this is how our society functions. Okay, what Mr. Chaudhary made very valid point that we don't look at substantive part. We look at procedurals and regulations and all because they're easy to measure. Negative is always easy. हमको चांद में हर बार दाग ज़्यादा दिखाई देता है. Yes, but that is what we are. Mr. Rastagi, you wanted to say something, and then we'll come back.
I'm just supplementing to what you and Mr. Chaudhary said. I'm saying let's not focus in evaluation on the procedures. So this first 6-7 points, I would say, should be taken out. What we should be doing is build an evaluation of how he conducted the resolution process, how much resolution did he achieve, how was his conduct during the COC meetings, how much he gave weightage to how much he addressed to the claims, what problems did he face. Those should be the evaluation criteria and not these compliances, except for point number 3.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to say anything? Okay, now we have looked at all of them. You can have general comments on the whole thing or just specific on any particular parameter or all of them. Yeah.
As Mr. Chaudhary pointed out regarding that, how many resolution plans were successful under a particular RP. That is really very difficult to, judge the kind of assignment you get, whether it will culminate to your resolution plan or it will culminate to liquidation. That is very difficult to say. That depends on the case-to-case basis. And moreover, resolution plans, those are really very big ticket size that really happening because market dynamics has changed totally altogether.
Yes, Mr. Mark. Anybody else wants to say something?
Yeah, can I?
Yes, Dipti ji, boliye.
Yeah, this even I agree that the kind of case you get, it depends not always on your capability. Yes, it depends on capability, but everyone is not always okay that kind of assignments. Further, whether it will be turned into 1 minute, just leave it. Yes, whether it will turn into liquidation, resolution plan, many times it turns into plan or other, because in IBC the turn and twist happens many times so much because of COC. We each RP knows. Now even including replacement, many of us know that replacement happens not necessarily because of incapability. Now in this, it's so much subjective. Mr. Chaudhary, if we don't take it compliance, then everything is so subjective, there will be 10 counter arguments. And just now it was asked that, kind of resolution plan, kind of claim, the kind of, it is like a, entire operation checking and each step. And each thing is so subjective, each action has its 10 reasons. So it should be a kind of a average. It's a general idea. It cannot be the kind of, perfections, but it is an average idea that what kind of compliance level the IP is observing, how it can be given that. So in that scenario, accordingly, the compliances, which is in the hand of IP, can be the major cause. Of course, the experience of handling, whether you get, not get, that is different thing, is also the situation where the person has experience, and that can be given idea where, and then balance thing can depends on the situation because everything is subjective. That is my view.
Yes, thank you.
Sir, I have something to say.
Haji.
Sir, see, if the criteria of getting the resolution plans or whether the company has got into liquidation, if these kind of things are discussed, sometimes what is happening, even after the successful resolution plan being approved and the company being transferred to the acquirer, and later the disciplinary action finds the IP to be, non-compliant on certain points, then in that case, this entire evaluation goes for a toss.
Yes, it does. Nothing is perfect. Absolutely.
And the kind of since our code itself is so dynamic, today what is like, we have been fighting with may and shall all the time. So what is mandatory today is not mandatory tomorrow. And something which was, you know how dynamic the regulations have been. So in that case, how this evaluation is going to help? Actually, मेरा first point वही है. Evaluation किस लिए चाहिए ये वाला?
Okay. Right. We have had some discussion. Just only for putting in perspective, the first requirement of why this is coming out is because they are mandated to do so. Why? It is written in the law. It has to be followed. The law, one can challenge the law in a different forum, but none of us as citizens in any democratic law-abiding country, we might disagree with all the laws, but we still have to follow all of them to the extent that they are applicable to us. So yes, so as far as the IPA is concerned, they are mandated to come out with something. They have made an attempt of framing something which to the best of their understanding is something which can be actually measured. Okay. To the best of it. It's not that every single parameter that they have selected is the ideal one or should even be there. Even that, whether it should be 0, 1 or 0 to 10 for each parameter, all these are open for discussion, so that at the end they come with a format which is largely acceptable to the people. Okay. On measurable parameters, there will be qualitative ones. One second, hold on. So qualitative parameters are always subjective. We know that. And there is no way an institute like the IPA can actually judge you on that. I mean, they just don't have the resources or the depth to do so. All they can do is things which are measurable. Yeah. Somebody was wanting to say something.
I was saying, do we see the resolution professional as a person who is only to do filings and compliances, or do we see him as a professional who resolves? And if he resolves, then he has to be evaluated on that parameter and not on a parameter which is inconsistent with the aim and objective of his duties.
Okay, the short answer, I'm not saying this is the only answer, an attempt at an answer is that the qualitative assessment of an IP in terms of how good that person is as a resolution professional is something which the creditors who appoint such an IP would do. And they would be doing that anyway. They are not too much bothered about this. An IPA cannot get into that. There is no way. They don't know. They are not part of the process. The only people who can judge a person on qualitative terms are those who have been party to that process. So it is your COC members who can do that. And whether, from what you are saying, would you, just a thought which has come just now, would it be useful to have an evaluation form filled up by the COC for the IP at the end of the assignment? Would it make more sense?
No, sir, not at all.
See, exactly. Now, when it comes to that, the only people who can judge you, you don't want them to judge you. And those who cannot, you want them to judge you on those parameters. That's a bit of a contradiction. Okay.
Frankly, no, sir, it is not about getting judged by COC, but you know how they have been. Over a period of time, all IPs have gone through this. There are, from various backgrounds, we have the bankers. So we have 24, 30 bankers sitting there. So obviously, at some point of time, somebody will not like, today IDBI does not like, tomorrow ICSI.
Yeah, okay. Let's not get into those specific names here, please. Let's avoid that. But having looked at the general sense of this discussion on this topic, with the permission of the institute, I would like to suggest if 2 or 3 of you can volunteer to design a format which, in your opinion, captures the real spirit of how evaluation should be done. Basically, when you say format, give the parameters. Not only give the parameter, but also how it shall be measured, with the least amount of discomfort to the person who is going to be measured. Anybody would like to volunteer?
Yeah, I do.
Dipti, yes.
Yeah.
So 2 more people at least. If the more inputs they are, the institute will definitely be happier.
Yes, sir. I too.
You have to give the parameters
which
you think, which you
I
think.
do.
Huh?
Rajesh Gupta.
I can, sir.
Rajesh Gupta, yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Myself also, sir.
Anuradha Bisani also.
Yes,
Yeah. We got 3 names. Thank you. I think just give them by way of email, whatever way you want.
Yes, I think that there is another alternative to this, that this should be shared to the members of this IPA, and individual feedback period of 15 days would be given to them, so that everyone can give their feedback on this. Because in number 4, I have seen that number of complaints held against insolvency professional. So anyone can do any type of complaint against insolvency professional. The IBBI site is open for that. So there are lots of things would have to be brainstormed on these formats. So these formats, I think, sir, would have to be shared with every.
This has already been shared with all the members. You check into your email. You would have received it. Okay, go through that. Take your time. It's nothing is happening overnight. You want to?
I think Mr. Ganti, there's a good suggestion that in 15 days we ask suggestion, and then the committee, they review all suggestion and discuss, and then we finalize.
Sure. Nothing is being finalized today. It is only for discussion.
Yeah. No, I know nothing is finalized. There's modus operandi. I'm just.
Sure.
It would be more democratic if everyone would be.
So what we will do is.
My veto to Dipti, madam.
Yeah, a week, not 15 days later, but I think a month later from now, we will have an exclusive session on finalizing this format based on further inputs that are received from members. Till then.
राजन जी, आप सही कह रहे थे, काम ही नहीं करो, काम करोगे तो कंप्लेंट होगी, काम करना बंद करो तो कंप्लेंट बंद हो जाएगी। अब ज्यादा काम करके घर नहीं जाएंगे, सैटरडे को भी काम तो करते रहते हैं, तो घर जाके कंप्लेंट होती है ना सबकी। काम ही नहीं करो, कंप्लेंट ही नहीं होगी, तो कंप्लेंट तो ऐसी चीज है। Complaint cannot be a criteria to judge somebody.
These are okay. They are not criteria to evaluate positively, but they are negative factors, and negative factors are important in life. ऐसा नहीं होता. Sometimes you like the most positive thing that you do, like you said very rightly, resolution side. It's very qualitative, very subjective, and the only people who can assess you there are your creditors, and you don't want them to judge you. That's the problem. Okay.
Prakash sir, we have to fight for the resolution. How many people are on the table asking for resolution? They are there to recover the amount.
Not for nobody likes resolution professionals.
It is only the RP who is fighting for resolution.
Yes. Good. Chalo, thank you. So we will close this part here, and we will reconvene on this maybe a month later after we receive by that time suggestions. And the 3 people who have given their names, I mean, the institute will forward it to them. They can collect, think about it, and if possible, come with a consolidated paper. Would that be okay, Nitika?
नितिका, मैं तो एड ऑन में आ जाऊंगा दीप्ति मैडम के।
हाँ, एड ऑन।
एड ऑन एक वो मिलता है ना आजकल, पॉलिसी के साथ भी एड ऑन मिलता है।
हाँ, बिल्कुल।
आप आ जाओ ना भाई, क्या एड ऑन?
नहीं, एड ऑन में फी नहीं भरनी पड़ती, लायबिलिटी नहीं होती।
एग्जैक्टली सर, इसीलिए मैं प्रिफर करता हूँ कि आईपी ना भर के आईपी सपोर्ट सर्विस दे दूं लोगों को। अच्छा है।
Okay, right. Chalo, we will go to the rest of what is left quickly, and won't take much time.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, this is of course of interest to the institute and to all of us. The more the members, the more the revenue first, and the other benefits that come. Any ideas from members? This is the institute is directly related, interested in this. On what suggestions can be given to increase the membership? Means attract new. When you say increase membership,
annual subscription may be reduced.
Annual subscription
that is inversely
for all
related.
three.
Pardon, sir?
As of now, all the three IPS charge the same amount, right? Is it?
CMA is actually they are having into semi-annual payment. Other two IPAs are having annual payments, I guess.
So you are suggesting breaking up the payment into two halves. Would that improve?
No. Reducing it will increase the number of membership.
Which is the lowest? See, the fee is same now for all. It was actually less for ICSI earlier.
For same, sir, CMA 5,000 is there.
Huh?
For CMA, that is 5,000 CMA IP.
Right. In fact, that is what I was trying to hint at, that the institute which always used to charge the highest also has the highest membership. So fee is not a criteria. Okay. The facts on the ground say otherwise. So not fees.
Ravi, may I?
Yeah, sure.
See, the point is that now with the initial members who came in with about 10 years, 15 years experience, it's a matter of 5-6 years, they all will move out. They will be 70 plus and they may just go out. So for the institute, the focus should be on the graduate insolvency program through which now the members will start coming in going forward. So I don't know what kind of presentation the IPAs make at the time of when they are doing the course to familiarize with the IPAs, what they are doing, what this IPA does. I don't know whether any such familiarization program is there with each IPAs. That is one slot which can be given and you present well and take up the membership, fine. Of course, see, normally what has happened in the current scenario is that those who were chartered accountant went to triple IP. Those who were company secretaries went to ICSA IIP. And the others decided based on whatever they felt was good at that point of time. Some went to those who were not either of the members of all the three institutes. They went to, depending on wherever they felt is a better option to go. Going forward, now when the graduate program comes, it may not be that everybody is a member of each of the institutes. So possibly the tapping of new membership start at that level when somebody enters into that graduate insolvency program. I don't know what is the method. I mean, I'm thinking aloud. That could be one area where the institute should focus how to attract those members to join this IP.
Yeah, basically you are saying focus on the GIP as a possibility of getting new members. Yes.
Yes.
See, getting membership is a lot like elections. Okay. Baliji.
I was saying that what is the pain point for the RPs today? Let us see. The pain point is that many of the RPs are not getting enough assignments. So let us first address that pain point. If the institute addresses by their efforts rather than just focusing on compliances and fee generation, on the assignment generation for these new assignments, either by interacting for their members with the creditors or whatever they do, then it becomes a potential incentive for the incoming members to get associated with the institute. Because the word spreads. So I would rather, I agree with Mr. Devarajan that the graduate membership program is a good way. But there if we tell as an institute that this is what we do for our existing members, and this is what we are going to do for potential members, then that will bring the difference. So institute should be focusing, like we always say, address the pain point, and then the membership will come automatically.
Yes. Thank you.
Shall I say something?
Yes, Milinji, boliye.
The first time, who is the brand ambassador for this thing to collect the membership is the present IPs, right? Whether present IPs are happy is the first question. Whether there is any increase after 17, 18, those who are admitted as RP or IPs, whether they are happy, whether the numbers are reducing gradually, because in every session where I heard these type of things, that we talk more and more about the controlling the IPs, basically. And if the people are not happy with the things, they will definitely not going to make propaganda of this thing that you become an IP. The present talk in the market is like that. Yes, it is a tough stand where the money is not coming, even if you are having the assignments. Your money is getting blocked. You are not getting responses properly from the various things, various regulators. So one good thing which happened in all this time is that IBBI fixed the fees for the IPs, minimum fees. Otherwise, the scenario was more worse than the what is present at present. When we talk about the COC's behavior, forget about that one. However, because they are more concerned about their recovery part, they are least interested in other things and they are not controlled, so they can do anything. That is different story. But a happy person only can make the propaganda of a profession. And forget about the happy. If the people see that there is some scope and we are getting the money, then people will get attracted. Otherwise, they will see that, okay, whatever is going on with me is good at present.
Thank you.
May I?
Yes.
One thoughtful aspect is that we can give more confidence to the IPs by providing more literature platform. Like, when I joined, institute had some books on like interim resolution professional or drafting and all those things. That also plays an important role, to get a backup of things where you need to compliances करने हैं आपको, तो आपके पास है कि भाई ये you have a directory thing कि भाई these are the things you do it, so that also reduces a sort of burden. That is what I feel. Some more and more literature as we evolve.
Right. Thank you.
Sir.
Haji.
Sir, I feel that, I mean, जो मेरे साथ हो रहा है, I'm telling you, the turnaround time from the institutes, IPAs, is not really, vibrant. Like, आज query देते हैं तो 10 दिन, 15 दिन बाद तक भी mail नहीं आता है return में. And we call certain landlines, certain mobile numbers, nobody answers. Whereas I don't want to name the IPA, but though I'm a member of another IPA, but I take help from the other IPA from which I'm not registered. They are the ones who give me input, how to do things, and they are very helpful. Also, we need to find if there are any jump overs from the present IPA and what is the reason for that and how many are there. So if we can have this data, then we can understand that why people are moving to another IPA. This is for the existing IPS I'm talking.
Right. Any other point? Anybody wants to say anything? Nitika, would you like to also indicate from your side, from the institute, what exactly are you witnessing or what has been your experience in these last 5.5 years on this issue?
Yes, sir. I think for last 1 or 2 years, the memberships are getting like they are decreasing. I don't know, maybe because of that the scenario in the market about the insolvency professional, about this insolvency landscape. So earlier till 2019 and till 20 also memberships were there, people were coming. But for last 2 years and maybe in last 1 year, the memberships have declined drastically. So that's why we at IPA, we really want to help the insolvency professionals. We want be that front runners for the IPs. So therefore, we are asking the suggestions from them how to increase membership and also how to improve our performances. Because feedback is very important. If you will tell us that these are the points where you should focus on, we will surely try to do that.
When you say membership is decreasing,
yeah.
Mr. Singla, one second. When you just to clarify, from seek clarification, membership decreasing means registrations being surrendered or just transfer from one IPA to another?
No, sir. Transfers are not there.
Okay.
It is transfers are not there.
People are giving up the profession.
Yes, sir. They're giving up the profession because of like various reasons. They're saying they don't get the assignments because of too many compliances. Plus the 70H criteria. Major is 70H criteria. Plus new registrations we are not getting much as we used to get.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Singla.
The staff is not very cooperative when they are not replying to the queries. As we people are getting a reply from ICSI, but we are not getting the same kind of replies from ICSI IAP. So it's very disgusting. So nobody cares for the queries we are asking. So
your queries are related to the functioning of the IPA or any point of law?
No, it is only the general queries which we have to deal with the IPs, your organization. This is the only
Mr.
point.
Santan Lakshmi?
Sir, yeah, yes, sir. Sir, I have my query is not related to IPA, especially. This is a general query with regard to the compliances. Now that we are supposed to file reports by way of...
One second. We are discussing the issue which is there. Compliances we completed. We had that point right in the beginning. Maybe you joined late, so we will come back if we have time. Okay. Anything on this issue of...
I'm sorry, sir. I want to record my grievance. One small point, just in 2 minutes I'll complete.
Okay, individual grievance or general?
It is, I have faced, so I can say individual, but we cannot say it will not happen to others. So it may be treated as a general grievance.
Yeah, please, briefly.
Yes. In one assignment, there was no asset in the corporate data. So COC members are not interested to proceed with the CARP. Therefore, they don't want to spend for the expenditure as well. So what happened? They have sent emails asking me, informing me that they want to exit from the COC itself. They are not pressing their claims. But now I happen to file other compliances. Now the company has gone into liquidation. For liquidation, we have to file the progress report, even if it is 1 or 2 days in the quarterly reports need to be filed. Then we have to give a public announcement. These compliances.
What is the issue? Please come to the issue.
Without the asset, without any income, without even getting the remuneration, how we are expected to make the payment for the compliances? Public announcement.
Okay, got it. I don't think anybody in any IPA can answer this question. Okay, this is a fundamental question about the insolvency process itself, as to how insolvencies which have started but which cannot fund themselves in any manner, either through their own resource or by creditors. How do you take that forward? Okay, it's a much bigger question.
Now, insolvency professionals will be made insolvent.
One second. There is no point asking a question of somebody who has no power to answer it. So IPA does not have the power. Okay, it doesn't. It's a big problem, but they don't have the power. Even IBBI does not have it, frankly. Okay. Okay. This is something which has to be dealt with at the government level, at the MCA level, how they will take it. There are certain ideas. They are talking of creating a fund. There is a discussion paper on that, in case you are aware of it. IBBI had conducted certain roundtables on that, of creating a corpus to take care of insolvencies where the CD or the creditors cannot fund it. for any reason, how to take that. No conclusion yet, because it is not an easy job. Whatever answer you will give, somebody else will have a counter to that. So that is a difficult question, no answer yet, but IPA cannot answer that. Yeah, Mr. Anil Singh, kuch bolna hai?
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I want to say something.
Haji, boliye.
Sir, there is
boliye.
Higher fees for registration as a IPE as compared to other IPA.
क्या बोल रहे हैं समझा नहीं. Are you
Sir,
saying that
IPA,
for IPE,
yeah,
ICSI is charging more?
Right, to be registered as IP, there is a higher fees than the other IPA.
I don't know. I think it is the other way around, but Nitika, you can answer that. To the best of my knowledge, your fee is lower.
I'll check it, sir. Then I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Either case, if they charge higher, nobody is going to come to them. No, so they will correct themselves. That's a relatively easy course correction. Yes. Any other point? Anybody wants to say? Okay, we will move forward. Okay. The last two parts. Okay. These are related direct. Yeah, one second. Just let me put the issue on the table. The first is point, how to improve the performance of the IPA itself. Now, please comment to the extent possible on the system and not any individual person or individual experience, but the substantive point that comes out of any particular experience. And what are the type of support that IPs would want from ICSI IIP?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Haji.
Sir, actually, last point we discussed about this number of IPs not increasing. You guys put the 2 months, break between the attempt of paper. That is also reason.
We can't hear you. आपका आवाज कट रहा है.
मैंने कहा there is a 2 months calm period is there for attempting the examination of the IP, na?
क्या बोल रहा है? I can't get it.
Hello.
Sir, I guess he's talking about that limited insolvency examination, that gap. Now, after only 2 months, the IP can reappear.
Okay.
Second
I think those are regulations by the IBBI, right?
Hello. Second question is that we are not increasing the profile of the IP, because we have to give this members to go for file the case instead of lawyer. So then our IP or RP they can go to NCLT level. So we have to find that ways they can put the case instead of lawyer. They also put the case in the front of NCLT also. And there is problem that so many people is not getting the assignment, so there is a sort of assumption in the mantra there.
अनिल जी, please be brief, हाँ, क्योंकि आप क्या बोल रहे हैं कुछ ठीक से समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. Exactly what you are trying to say.
Actually, I am saying.
Are you saying that IPs should be allowed to file cases on their own? They are. आज भी allowed है. NCLT rules में allowed है. मैं करता हूँ. मैं खुद करता हूँ तो मुझे मालूम है.
No. I am not saying. I am saying there is so many people of the RP giving the assignment to the advocate, putting their case. Instead of putting their case, we have to develop the IP also. They will put.
देखिए, हाँ, नहीं. You are talking of individual choice of a particular RP who wants to engage an advocate rather than do the job on his own. Okay, तो वो आप उनसे बात करिए तो आपको पता चलेगा ऐसे क्यों करते हैं. It has nothing to do, not so much to do with skill and competence. It has to do with, their own personal apprehensions maybe. But वो एक specific बोला है. There is no bar. There is absolutely no bar. I can tell you my own experience. Last 5 years, I have never engaged an advocate. Never. Not even for a Benami related transaction. So it all depends on on your own comfort level with yourself. ठीक है?
Ravi Prakash ji.
हाँ जी, बोलिए.
Sir, the point here is what support do IPs require from IPAs and ways to improve the performance of IPAs. I don't know, IPA may take it as a suggestion. Sir, now the problem is IPA is centralized in Delhi, and we've been communicating only through mails and sometimes over phone. And now the IPA has come to a stage where the inspection reports has been carried on. And with the information which we are sharing, there is a lot of communication to be done with the concerned inspection officer. So if we have some regional wise, anyways, say now regional officers, one representative from IPA, so that we can have a in-person meetings or in-person, so that we can clarify then and there instead of avoiding this bulk communication, sending it to them, and there is other side is taking in a different way, and we are making our presentation in a different way. I think there's a gap between through this process of communication. Why can't we have one representative and a regional vice to improvise it?
Okay,
I don't know.
They can note it down as to expanding the presence of the IPA beyond Delhi, not beyond.
And Nitika knows my problem. I think she may agree. The problem is communication, sir. Because everything we are talking only through emails, and the inspection has been carried out and inspection reports have been without giving an opportunity of being heard, and reports are coming in. So if we have some in-person appearances or in-person reports where we can submit, clarify then and there, I think that was the relevant for this slide which you are presenting.
Like the bench, like a bench.
Yeah, because
there is no harm.
No harm, absolutely. I appreciate that. It doesn't even have to be a full-time employee of IPA. It can be a ICSI chapter, which also takes care of the IPA side.
Monthly one.
We were having in WRC, we have regional conference, chapter and chapter office and all that. It's a very good suggestion. Actually, it should be combined.
Hi, the Christian here from Bangalore.
I think, Nitika ji, maybe this is something which you can definitely take up with your, parent institute, that give access to the IPA to all your chapters and regional offices.
Sir, these are the things which will really attract members, like, to particular IPs. Sir, why should we hire you?
And in fact, we can help you out there by having a training program for all those who are nominated to handle IPA matters and each chapter or regional office. उनके लिए हम लोग कर सकते हैं कि क्या-क्या issues होते हैं IPS के, and how, what extent they can help at the city centers wherever they are.
Yeah, region wise also will do, sir. And maybe now
it's basically, it doesn't require actually any additional cost at all. The existing person also gets trained, automatically they can answer the question.
Yes. Yes.
Can we open a chapter at Ludhiana? Excuse me.
क्या बोले?
Can we open a chapter at Ludhiana for IT?
अभी देखिए उधर ICSI का है तो देखेंगे. अभी see, as of now the IPA is only Delhi. Let's take that to start with. Let us see if they can try to expand to the regional centers, taking the assistance of the resources and infrastructure of the parent body, and take that forward from there. The triple IPA does that because they indirectly give their facilities for the insolvency practicing.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
No, we can open a chapter at our own office. So previously, when I was a chairman of the ICSI Ludhiana chapter, so that office was in my office. So we were not.
We will take that. Yeah, I think the subject has been covered. Yeah, individually to alag se baat karenge. Any other comment or suggestion from how would you want the IPS to improve?
Sir, एक dedicated phone line होना चाहिए जो कि you are sure like when you are making a call, like your calls are being attended to or responded to.
Okay, dedicated phone line, or would you prefer a dedicated WhatsApp number? Phones are difficult.
Yes,
to
that would also.
I think Nitika ji, if you can provide a
Have that,
specific WhatsApp number where people can post a query. Huh?
It is there, sir.
It's there. Okay, just share.
It's there.
एक बार फिर से share कर देना सबसे, all the members.
And IPA, any member, even anybody, whenever you call, they reply to your calls, and they are very reciprocative. In fact, that has to be taken on record. In fact, I had a couple of calls with Nitika ji also, and they are very reciprocative, very helpful, and immediate response to your emails. All that is good, sir.
Right. But don't ask them questions of how to interpret law. They are not authorized.
No.
They are not authorized to do so.
Yes.
In fact, technically
very responsive.
Yeah, technically speaking, even IBBI cannot answer a query relating to the regulations made by them.
Correct.
They are not. The law of the land separates the two. Rulemaking power is different from interpretation power.
But otherwise, the institute is very responsive, and Nitika in particular personally takes care of it.
And if Nitika is like at some interpretation point, if she could suggest somebody in that IPA, not like just to hand holding, like just to give a kind of comfort.
Yes, sir.
Not like 100%. I mean that query solving, but at least like you can connect. The connection is more important, Nitika.
Yes, sir. For that, sir, we have query platform. It is working. It is on workable condition. That query platform is available on the website. You can post questions that will be answered within 48 hours. We have an expert panel also, wherein more than 10 insolvency professionals are there. So there you can ask specific procedural questions, and then that will be answered properly. So that is there in place. It is on the website.
Thank you, Nitika.
Okay, thank you, everybody. That's it from my side. Over to you, Nitika.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you to all the participants for making this session very interactive and insightful. And I hope like all the suggestions which you have given, that will be implemented soon, and we'll try to make the IPA function better so that the IPs can function more effectively. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.